Today, we are talking about something so special. What are we talking about?
Vinland Saga.
We're not really gonna give a review, but what do you score it?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. And of course, I give it a 10 out of 10 too. This is a masterpiece. It is transcendent of everything ever. It is incredible. We're gonna talk about some really interesting, deep questions about this story. First big question. Is Askeladd, after all is said and done, and all the atrocities that he's committed, is he a hero?
Man, that's so hard. I had such a problem with him being a part of this awful crew that pillaged villages and killed women and children. But by the very, very end, I'd say he's a hero only in the sense that he saves his countrymen.
Yeah.
He also completely changes the tide, because had he not cut the king's head off and put things in Canute's favor, then things could have looked really badly, not just for Wales, but for others as well.
Well, let's talk about that moment where Askeladd cuts off the king's head. What a badass moment. Which really was a move of self-sacrifice. He knew he was going to die after that. What a move. Now, what Ed mentions is all the atrocities that he engaged in, which it shows us when he gets to a village of about 60 people. He orders them all slaughtered. It's a morally gray area, and here's why. Askeladd did not write the rules of the world that he is living in. He is simply playing by the rules that are there.
That's fair.
And really, in order for the world to change, there's got to be some dramatic things that happen. And what more dramatic than replacing the king who is overseeing these rules and overseeing this way of life? You can excuse Askeladd's behavior because he had no choice. Wouldn't you say?
He's very smart.
He is ruthless and cold and brutal, like when he had that woman killed in place of King Canute.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing, but he is doing what has to be done, much like Aaron. Aaron is doing what has to be done as well. If you contend that Askeladd is a villain, then you have to turn around and say that Thorfinn is also a villain. Because when that village was slaughtered and 60 people, Thorfinn was right there. He didn't say a word, he let it happen. Maybe he participated, we don't know. In the manga, in season 3 of the anime, there is a character named Hild. Thorfinn kills Hild's father. Hild swears revenge on Thorfinn. It's the exact same dynamic relationship.
He was so young when his dad was killed, and he had nothing after that showing him the right path. He didn't have Leif in his life anymore, so he needed to just follow along with these pirates to survive.
Well,
I think after a while, death becomes nothing.
But that can be applied to Askeladd too, because you're saying Thorfinn is a victim of his circumstances?
Yeah.
Well, so is Askeladd.
I love the storyline behind why Askeladd is the way he is. That humanized him more for me and allowed me to think, okay, he actually was put into this world and felt that he had to just play the game, not necessarily by the rules of honor at all. I don't think he 100% could get behind that. He was just trying to survive and also get ahead in the world. But when you finally learn that the reason he's wanting to join the king and protect him is because he sees a future in which he's old and he wants to have that place of honor serving a king that he believes in.
He wants to see a return to Artorius, who was a good king. He wants to see a return to good principles. And in order to get there, you gotta go through hell. And he has to unfortunately bring other people through hell too. That is one of the beautiful things about the story, is the parallels with Askeladd and Thorfinn. They walk the same path. And so now Thorfinn's trying to do something great, as Askeladd ended his life doing something great. We are Team Askeladd, aren't we?
Pretty much.
Even though he did bad things, it's okay. It's okay to do bad things. Big question. And I have a definitive answer to this, by the way. that you don't know.
Okay.
Does Thorfinn actually secretly love Askeladd?
Yes.
Ho ho ho!
There's a common phrase, and I'm forgetting what it is, but the opposite of love isn't hate, it's actually indifference. And we can tell that he's not indifferent towards him at all. He sticks by his side, he supports him even. He goes, no, I'm not helping you. I'm just waiting for the next duel so that I can kill you. Now, I really do believe he wanted to kill him, but at the same time, you can see this sort of father-son love develop by the very end. One, when Askeladd protects him from getting involved in the fight because Thorfinn doesn't know what's really going on.
Thorfinn, stay back!
Yeah, he's set the stage for all of this to happen. It's supposed to happen. He has to die, and he doesn't know that. At the same time, right before Thorfinn goes into the battle where he sees that Askeladd is in danger, he goes, that idiot. I just think it's funny they've developed this relationship with one another where he hides his secret love for him behind that disguise. He really treats him as a father figure deep down that he didn't get to have with his real father.
Thorfinn's entire reason for existence is to kill Askeladd. And so when Askeladd is finally gone, as we'll see in season 2, arc 2 of the manga, Thorfinn doesn't know what his purpose is. He has nothing to live for. Thorfinn thinks back to Askeladd and he says, I don't hate him anymore. Now, the most clear-cut proof that Thorfinn, at least now, does love Askeladd is in the manga in chapter 176. Leif is seeing Thorfinn off as Thorfinn sails to Vinland. And behind Leif, Thorfinn sees his father and Askeladd looking at him like proud fathers. The 3 mentors he's had in his life. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
He says, I will father to Leif. But he's really talking to all 3 of them. So he's calling Askeladd his father in that panel. Thorfinn loves Askeladd. Real deep stuff. Real good stuff here. Next question, flip it around. Does Askeladd love Thorfinn?
Yeah.
It took you a minute there.
He did leave him to die on a couple occasions, so at those points I wasn't really feeling like the relationship had developed to a place of love yet. But by the end of it, when he was about to lose his life, the fact that he keeps him out of it because he knows that he's going to try to come in and protect him and could actually get hurt, I think that's a sign of love. And when he finally says, you can stab me now, and he says it's time for you to let go of this and move on with your life.
いい加減先へ進めよ。いつまでもこんなクソくだらねえところに引っかかってねえで。
Askeladd's dying words to Thorfinn were father-like, were mentor-like, perhaps more openly than at any other point in the story. I think that there's 2 things at play. One, when did Askeladd start to love Thorfinn? Because at first he was an annoying kid, he didn't care if he died in the wilderness. And then he used him as a tool for the means to his end. But somewhere along the line, Askeladd actually started to care about Thorfinn. At the duel, right after Askeladd kills Bjorn, his best friend, he fights Thorfinn. And he beats the shit out of Thorfinn. But I would argue that the reason he goes so hard on him and beats him to a pulp is because Askeladd is frustrated as a father to Thorfinn about Thorfinn's lack of growth. But the fact that he's still acting like a child. Get over it. Your dad's dead. All these warriors don't hold grudges. Remember, Bjorn said that. He said Thorfinn's the only one who holds a grudge. And everybody lets it go except for you. And you're never going to be able to live your life if you don't let this go.
The moment that I realized Askeladd had stronger feelings for Thorfinn than I had thought prior. And it was a moment that he was shocked. When he stays behind, he sees that Thorfinn came back for him despite the circumstances he was in. I mean, he just looks absolutely shocked. And everyone's shocked when he's like, wow, he's claiming to still say, hey, I want to be able to kill him. Thorkel, you're not allowed to, is again, I think, a mask.
So you didn't buy it at that point?
No, I think he was still just determined to save his life more than he was determined to be the one that killed him. Oh, we didn't talk about Thorkel.
What about Thorkel?
I love him. He's such a goof. He's so strong and scary, but I just think it's hilarious that he is always up for a fight.
Thorfinn!
and just always wants it to be honorable. Plus, that man could throw a spear or a rock farther than I've ever seen.
Yeah, they really made him like a superhero in this.
Yeah. Well, I keep talking about it. It's so good.
You want to keep talking? Is there anything else? What else you want to say?
I don't know. It was great. I miss it. It was so great that now I'm like, I wish I could move on to season 2, but we're not there yet.
We'll have to see when season 2 comes out. Season 2 is going to be good. Season 3 is going to be really freaking good. And season 4 is just getting started in the makeup. Well, thank you all for coming again. Vinland Saga is great. I'm sure if you've watched this, you've already seen it. Otherwise, you've been spoiled the whole thing. Sorry.
Like and subscribe, please.
Please.
Oh my god, Tuka! Are you okay? I'll go call the police! Yes, I have a turtle down! Turtle down! Please come! Hurry! He's in grave danger!
It's fine. I'm fine. It's fine.